No 40-year-old should be crawling across the ground to grab duck eggs. But unfortunately, that's what I've been doing every morning. I would have probably kept doing it until something happened to force my hand. So the ducks used to lay way in the back of the chicken tractor, and then my only options were either to use a rake, risk cracking the eggs, or pretend to be flexible enough and climb inside. And when it rains, the eggs get muddy. When it's cold, I dread it. But honestly, it was kind of just good enough to live with it until it wasn't. Because then, we found the holes. So last month, something dug under the tractor overnight. It was either raccoon or coyote. We're still not sure, but we went from 13 eggs a day to 3. The eggs were broken. They were everywhere. We had 2 ducks that were taken. You know, it's frustrating, but it's also part of learning. Things work until they don't. So I had to make a choice. I had to fix it now before something worse happened. So with the weather changing and the darker evenings, I moved the tractor into our shop so I'd actually have space and light to work on it. And you know, once I got it inside, I realized I didn't need to rebuild nearly as much as I thought. And sometimes the thing that's good enough really is good enough. It just needs tightening up. The tarp really wasn't a problem. It actually worked just fine. So instead of replacing it, I tightened it down and used old pickets like fascia to hold it in place. And at that point, functional beats fancy. The 2 long sides and the back got metal siding. The way the wind comes in, it actually comes from the back. So blocking that was the main priority. For the front, we just used leftover pickets as well. Yeah, metal didn't fit right and time was limited, so pickets it was. And for the nesting boxes, I actually found 3 old pots in the shop. Not glamorous, but again, functional. And the next morning, 2 eggs were already in them. And the biggest change, I think, I added electrical netting around the whole duck area. It connected to the chicken fence and it just added extra security and honestly, just an extra peace of mind. This whole build started as a fix everything project and turned into let's just use what works lesson. Of course, it wasn't all smooth. Things didn't line up. The screws fell out of my hands. The tractor ended up heavier than I expected, and the measurements, well, let's just say they weren't precise. But again, being able to actually walk into the hutch instead of folding myself into a pretzel felt like a win. Yeah, so the ducks have been timid since we got them, and they've been that way even more so since the attack. But the important thing is when we brought it back, the egg production didn't drop off. And collecting the egg the next morning, way, way easier. So no crawling, no mud, no yoga. As I reflect on this, I tend to overthink projects. I usually try to wait for the perfect plan, for the perfect design, and really all this means is it's procrastination. You know, the build wasn't picture perfect, but it was functional, and in the season of life, functional is perfect, and no one tells you what to do on a homestead. You're the caretaker, and doing nothing is sometimes worse than actually making imperfect progress. And speaking of imperfect progress, the chickshaw is next. Yeah, right now it's pretty breezy, which great for airflow, may not be so much for winter. So the next project video, we're gonna figure out how to winterize it. Hopefully keep the chickens warm for winter. Appreciate you all following along. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.